Good afternoon. Welcome to WAFUNIF Lunch and Learn series. My name is Liliana Bucur Cress, and I'm the president of WAFUNIF, the World Association of Former United Nations Interns and Fellows, the official alumni association for the former UN Interns and Fellows worldwide. We work with representatives from various organizations such as technologists, policymakers, financiers, community representatives to educate and empower individuals to make a difference by discussing problems and solutions on a global scale. Through conferences, workshops, and mentorship programs, we equip our members with the skills and resources to drive positive change on global issues. In today's WAFUNIF Lunch and Learn series, I have the honor to talk to Mr. Devine Ntiokam, the Executive Director of the Climate Smart Agriculture Youth Network Global, which is a dynamic coalition of young individuals and partner organizations dedicated to promoting climate smart agriculture and sustainable agricultural practice worldwide. With a presence in numerous countries, the organization focuses on empowering youth through education, advocacy, and innovative programs aimed at addressing climate change challenges in agriculture. I read also that your flagships program include the African Youth for the SDGs training, which fosters conversations about the relevance of youth achieving global goals, and also the environmental education program that enhances critical thinking and decision-making skills related to environmental issues. Also, additionally, the Women in Agriculture for a Sustainable Africa, it's a program that empowers women in agriculture by promoting sustainable farming practices, processing, and marketing. Your organization's Education Exchange, also another program, further enhances mobility and knowledge exchange among students, teachers, and lecturers across their centers of excellence hosted within universities, colleges, and schools. Through all these initiatives, your organization actively contributes to the amelioration of ecosystems and the advancement of the sustainable agriculture, positioning youth at the forefront of climate action and sustainable development. Good afternoon, Devine. How are you?
Thank you very much, Liliana. I'm very good. Nice meeting you. Thanks for inviting me.
Now it's our pleasure to talk to you and to learn more about your organization. And I would like to start to ask you what inspired the creation of the Climate Smart Agriculture Youth Network Global. And maybe you can tell us about the vision for its future impact on global climate smart agriculture.
Thank you very much indeed for this opportunity. And of course, that's something I don't have to think about it because it was innate. It was within me. It came within myself, right back in 2000, I want to go a little bit back in 2012 when I had some assignments to do with UNICEF Rural Voice of Youth, which was to, come out with a consultation handbook to educate the young people on sustainable agriculture. I said to myself, what can I do to actually add value to this initiative? That's why I kept on thinking and rethinking. Unfortunately for me, in 2014, I had a Skype message from David Nabarro, who was then the Undersecretary General on Schools of Nutrition, Coordinator of Schools of Nutrition in Geneva. They were about setting up the Global Alliance on Climate Smart Agriculture in Rome. And they said, let me join the strategic committee meeting. And when I joined this committee, when the program of work was shared with me, I realized there was a gap. We didn't have the voice of youth in that document. And I said, can I set up the youth constituency of the Global Alliance on Climate Smart Agriculture? And that's how I was fortunate. David and colleagues said, yes, carry on. And that's how I came up with CSAYN. It was CSAYN then, Climate Smart Agriculture Youth Network. There was no G. So I started this initiative with inspiration I had in Cameroon, Togo, Nigeria, and DRC. I just met some friends. I said, guys, I have this idea. How do you think about it? We know no matter what we do, we need to eat food. And if we don't try to protect our environment, don't try to ensure that the food is sustainable, we're going to die of hunger and poverty right here. So how do we do? That's how they jump in. And we started. We back to full concept note, and we came out with a one-pager. And right now, as I speak to you, in 170 countries. So the inspiration came back from the fact that I was, first of all, very, very passionate about development. I was passionate about environment. My mother was an agri personnel in Cameroon. So I learned a lot from her, and this really gave me some sort of a booster to set up an initiative that's going to impact the entire world. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you elaborate on how the CSAYN promotes the climate smart agricultural practices among youth, and especially in rural and vulnerable communities?
Yeah, thank you very much. You equally have to understand right here that, rural communities, the marginalized communities, and the underprivileged have always been at the center of my priorities. I was fortunate, again, in 2012, when Amina Mohammed was appointed by the UN Secretary General to lead, to advise on the post-2015 development agenda process towards the development of the SDGs. I was called upon by UN Millennium Campaign, which is today called the UN SDG campaign, to lead the process as the global UGT advocate on my world and then post-2015 development agenda. My task was actually to map out all youth-led organizations worldwide, to engage them in the post-2015. But I got a lot of challenge. Before then, I had some work, the work I did with UNICEF. I went to communities, I couldn't speak the local language. So getting information was an issue. So I decided to say, okay, how can I make things different? Because if I have to work with communities and empower them, I need to understand what they're talking about, their language. That's how we translated the SDGs into 60 official languages. And this gave me the opportunity to set up what we call youth country coordinators across all the countries I was working in. And that came so powerful that I couldn't even control myself. I had to start looking for other recruiters, other volunteers to help me in the communities. So we work with traditional rulers, we work with visually impaired, persons with disabilities. Those are really centers of our priorities. And I want to let you know that the SDGs will actually transcribe them before adoption into Braille, so that no one is left behind. So for community development, community engagement, and mobilization, we are very, very at the front line. So really, I'm very, very passionate about it. And those are some of the strategies we actually engage with communities. We organize what we call focus group discussion at times. We want to hear from them. Let them tell us what our priorities. We want to hear from them. Let them tell us what actually means, what's going to be meaningful to them as they're moving forward in life. So that's how really I got very interested in joining the development world. Over to you, Liliana.
Wonderful. Can you expand a little bit on how your organization engages and also empower the youth to become leaders in climate action and sustainable agriculture?
Yes, thank you. That's a question I always like to answer. The first question at least, because you need to understand the operational plan of CSAYN. When we started with country coordinators, but I came to realize that it was not sustainable. So we decided to go to schools, primary schools, kindergarten, high schools, and university. Because right there, when we graduate, we start looking for jobs, we start looking for internship programs. So CSAYN came up with a strategy to bring internship to proximity. They don't have to leave one school to the other, one university to the other. Right there, we offer them internship program. And how does it operate? We just need to get an email from a university, send them an email, please, we are very interested to work with you guys, but we have two conditions. We need an office which is going to enable us to monitor and evaluate the projects that we're going to implement within the campus. And the office is going to serve as a hub for the students, the interns, to sit in there and coordinate this program and evaluate them by themselves. And the second point, a requirement is to give us a little piece of land for demo farming. If they already have a school farm garden or an experimental farm, it's easy. It makes things easier for us. We don't need to set it up. So the activities right down there, the students themselves, they are the ones, there's what they call peer-to-peer education. We educate them on tree planting and tree growing, fruit trees, vegetables, tomatoes. We do that, and then we tell them that you guys going to educate your peers. So what happens for example, what I was able to do, I took students from primary school and I brought them to high school for them to educate the high school students on what they learned. And that actually triggered our mind to say we have to spread this around the world. And this has actually worked. The bottom-top approach has always been the best. And that's what we understand. And you'll come to realize that there's no organization in the world that actually offers internship for primary school students. I've never seen that before. So we decided to take this leadership. It wasn't easy. It wasn't really easy, but we're happy that today we're actually leading the whole world in this perspective. And we call all these institutions, we term them centers of excellence. We work on over 170 countries around the world, and then we have 70 centers of excellence across the world, be from Africa, Europe, Latin America, the Oceanic, North America, and Asia. We are all over. We are more than COVID, actually. We are more than COVID. So I think that if we have to be taking a blood test, we're gonna see a lot of SDGs in our blood, as one of my friends said last time. Over to you, Liliana.
Wonderful. As you mentioned that you operate and you have regional hubs worldwide. How do these hubs tailor their initiative to address the local agricultural and climate challenges?
Yeah, there are two things. I first have to echo here that we have a very strong collaboration strengthened with CNN, which is the media giant. They have an initiative that called Call to Earth Day. It's once a year, every December feed, every December foot. I beg my pardon. So we are the ones that lead this process with CNN. The activities for this year, for example, was about recycling, cleaning the environment, because prior to this event, prior to this edition, we were planting trees massively across the world. So we said, okay, we have planted the trees. Why don't we clean these trees? Why don't you cater for this tree? Why don't you ensure that they grow well? So that's how we actually went back and started cleaning the trees, making sure that they're well and sustainable. Environmental sustainability was very key. And really, we actually encourage everyone to look at, when you talk of agriculture, people say, oh, you need a lot of land. No, we talk of vertical farming. Vertical farming, you have little space, but you maximize the production. So it's very important. That's why I've always said agriculture is not the backbone, because with the backbone, if you don't have a backbone, you can use a wheelchair and you work. It's the oxygen. It's the oxygen on the planet, because without oxygen, nothing happens to you. You can't live without oxygen. So that's agriculture. That's agriculture for real. That's sustainable agriculture for real. Thank you very much. Over.
No, that's beautiful. In terms of, because you're mentioning partnerships and collaborations, what role do partnerships with governments and other NGOs and other international organizations play in advancing your organization's objectives?
Yeah, I mean, you let me, Liliana. You start making me to give you the process of which we went through to design the SDGs. You know, SDG 17 is key. SDG 17, global partnership for the goals, is key. And I usually relate this to marriage. I mean, marriage is, if you need somebody you can understand and exchange ideas, you know, to be able to move forward in life. That's what SDG 17 is. So all of us implement SDG 17 without knowing. And that's why partnership is key. It's really key, because without partnership, we cannot achieve the SDGs. Because you need to listen to the communities. You need to listen to the voiceless. If you don't listen to them, nothing's going to happen. You can come up with your billions of dollars. They will not allow you in their community. So you need to actually ensure that you listen to them, carry out the situation analysis, organize multiple focus group discussions, listen to them, get their voices, take it very importantly, and prioritize it. Are you going to move forward? So for us, the partners we have, actually we have technical partners. Most of them are technical partners and institutional partners, in the sense that they give us the ability to be visible. They give us the ability to be empowered. They give us the ability to build our skill set of our mentors. I'll give some examples. You know, just your organization, your office right now is our partner. So all the interns we have are actually so excited to start working with your institution, you know, and all the fellows we have, which are actually the alumni of CSAYN, they'll be happy to be part of you. You know, we talk of all the UN agencies, of course. I want to say, Amina Mohammed, I want to say thank you very much to the DSG, because she actually inspired me so much many years back, 2012, and to adopted the SDGs. I just want to mention a few of them. Devine Ntiokam, I met him the first time in COP22. That was, I think, Marrakesh. He said, I'm very proud to meet you, because I actually initiated the process of the SDG translation across the world. And they were very passionate about it. So I want to say that, and that's when I even met Ban Ki-moon the first time. He introduced me to Ban Ki-moon. He took me to the room and said, oh, Ban Ki-moon, this is the young man I was talking to you about. So I just want to say that without partnership, nothing works. We just ended a series of meetings a few days ago, and where we're discussing about how to strengthen the SDG implementation and foster the achievement. You know, we said we move from the SDG dialogues, from the SDG corners where we sit and discuss stuff at the corner, to FDG pavilions. Of course, we're one of the keynote speakers. So I just want to say that we are very, very grounded. There is no institution on the planet that doesn't have collaboration with CSAYN. So we call upon everyone who is still lagging behind to contact us as soon as possible to be able to meet the SDGs by 2030. Over to you.
We're all your friends. Further on, I would like to know, how is your organization, the CSAYN, leveraging the technology and innovation to improve climate resilience and food insecurity in agriculture?
Excellent. We have what we call ICT for agriculture. COVID taught us that without ICT, nothing going to work. We were not prepared with COVID. We were not prepared. That's why the farmers actually, they had to eat everything they had. You know, you had your billions, You had the billions, you didn't have food. So you had to you didn't know how to get to the farmer because there were lockdowns. So in the end, even what the farmers produced, they had no sales. They couldn't sell them. So it was a huge challenge. That's why many of our young people in our community of practice of CSAYN, they went into what we call e-commercing. We have I'll give an example of a key, one of my five key member. His name is Placido. He's from Tanzania. This guy used to work for UBA Bank. When we met, later on he resigned. He said no, he has to join CSAYN. 2016. Right now, he's a very big guy in Tanzania. They know him everywhere. He flies. He goes to China to buy equipment to bring back home to actually he service the farmers. He actually has extension services. So they use technology to inform the smallholder farmer what is the weather focus. They use technology to equally consult, the livestock. You don't need to go to a vet doctor. So from that technology he has, you can actually consult your livestock, and then you get the consultation, the medication to the prescription, and go directly to the pharmacy. So it has helped a lot. So I want to say that the ICT, without ICT, nothing works. Because right now, even we are discussing because we have ICT. If it was not there, nothing's going to happen. So technology is very, very key. And that's why we have some institutions. I'm planning, by the grace of God, to have collaboration with Google and all this link on to see how they can support what we're doing. And I think by the grace of God, things are going to work so soon. So with that, I want to say we really appreciate that COVID came. He had the good news and the bad news. The bad news was that people died, but the good news is that it actually reminded us that we need to stand firm to technology. Over.
I agree with you in so many ways. And you mentioned that you were involved from the beginning drafting the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And talking about that and the SDG alignment, in what ways does your organization work align with the Sustainable Development Goals, especially with the SDG number 2, the Zero Hunger, and SDG 13 in climate action?
Yeah, I will tell you, Liliana, I will not agree with you when you segregate the SDGs. The SDGs are all interrelated. SDG one, if you are poor, you can't go to school, you can't have food to eat, which is poverty, which is zero hunger. If you don't eat, you cannot be in good health, which is SDG 3. If you cannot eat and you cannot be well taken care of, you can't go to school, which is SDG, which is SDG 4. And of course, you realize that in communities, if you are poor, you don't have money, you cannot get married, so you cannot achieve SDG 5, which is gender. One say, so I can go on and on, right up to the end. I was there. I can tell you how the logos, how the icons came about. I understand the process. So for me, it took 2 years. It took 2 years and a half to design the SDGs. So if by now we've not achieved as much, but I think people are aware about the SDGs than before, And the difference between the MDGs and the SDGs is that the SDGs are people-centered and the planet is at the front line. The MDGs wasn't inclusive. It wasn't transparent. It wasn't accountable. But right here with the SDGs, we have now 169 targets and 203 indicators. So it is well streamlined. You can actually be aware when a community achieves SDG 1 or SDG 2. So for SDG 13 is key. We can't do anything without environment. Climate action, for me, I call it environment. You can't do without it. So we need to protect the Mother Earth. And if we don't protect the Mother Earth, nothing's going to happen. If there's no sustainable environment, there's no sustainable peace, and there's no sustainable agriculture, and there's no sustainable food system transformation. Over to you.
You mentioned about some challenges that, of course, we all faced as NGOs before and even after COVID. But what are some of the significant challenges your organization has faced in its efforts to promote the climate-smart agriculture, and how did you address them?
Yeah, first of all, CSAYN is a network. It's a think tank. It's not an organization. It's a think tank. Each member of CSAYN belongs to an organization or he owns an organization. So that's why CSAYN, those who think that CSAYN, if Devine is no more, CSAYN will die, will never die. It's there forever. So when the earth is going to when the world ends, that's where CSAYN is going to end. There's no limit. So I just want to say that, for example, when you look at me, in the beginning, I'll tell you really, when I had country coordinators, it was a tall order because people, they'll have their things to do. You don't have money to pay them, They need to feed their bills. So they won't stay there to report for you. So it was challenging to manage that. But I had to understand that at the point I had to invest by myself. And I came to, because I believed in my dream, I would get set times to IFAD, African Development Bank, African Union, European Union Commission, all of them technically have supported us. They kept on. Some of the ambassador hands, they kept on telling me, we keep moving. Abebe, who is the regional deputy director general for FAO for Africa, he joined us from 2014, 2013. He was with us when he was at the African Union as a director for DREA, you know. And I want to tell you that we have had people that have been stood for us and gave us encouragement. So for me, I really feel that if I say challenge, I'll not say challenge. Actually, I looked at it, there were a lot of opportunities within that, because it gave me the ability to learn how to design a blog. You know, I had to learn how to design a blog. I had to learn how to come up with proposals. I had to learn a lot of things, you know, how to communicate with people. You know, I had to get into social media, which I thought that, okay, as executive director, you don't need to worry about it because people are going to work for you. But when they don't have to be there, you have to do them by yourself. And that's why I'm very, very happy and excited. I told everybody, I said, I don't like me working for people because I like my space. I love what I'm doing. You know, life is about passion. When you're passionate about something, when you're passionate about whatever you're passionate about, identify it. Are you going to run with it without no effort? Yeah, thank you very much.
Definitely, I think you're very passionate about the think tank that you are the leader of.
Yeah.
I mentioned a few of the programs, the flagship programs, in the beginning of my intro in this Lunch and Learn series. But I would like to see if you can share with us more insights into the flagship programs, like the AYPI and also the environmental education, and their measurable outcomes that you had so far.
Yeah, I would say for example, AYPI, we designed this program when we had a collaboration with IRI to address pastoralism among young people, within young people. So within that framework, I said, okay, this is a conference that we're organizing with IRI. So how do we, in collaboration with IRI, how do we make sure that it remains sustainable? So that's how the AYP came about, which is the African Youth Initiative on Pastoralism. You know, that's so that they should continue. They should continue moving forward with it. And today they're working. They are there. They're going. It's going forward. So we can see young people who are already excited about what they were doing. They were into livestock, but they didn't know where they could actually table their plight. You know what I'm saying? They were looking for constituencies that could support what they're doing. And I think knowledge sharing and knowledge management was actually key. That's what set that up. And that was in Kenya. In Kenya. Now I have to go. When you look at WhatsApp program is exciting the way it came about. I went to a community once in my country, Cameroon, and I saw very beautiful girls, very beautiful. They went to agricultural transformation. But I told them that, why are you guys not investing much on this? Why are you guys not, adding value to what you're doing? They said no, when they go ask for jobs or for financing, people, they want to assault them. I said, okay, this is going to stop. Now, I'm going to set up what we call the African women's CEOs. That was the idea I had in the beginning. I started that with the concept. Then after that, some of my colleagues said, some women said, no, let's put in women. Let's let the word women come out. And that's why we have WhatsApp program, Women Agriculture for Sustainable Africa. And it's worldwide. And the chair is Juliet. She's sitting in Nigeria. When we go to CYA, we said, okay, we cannot just be sitting and saying university people bothering much about having internship. If you don't come to university, you have no job. We said, no, we have to create jobs for children and youth right at the community level. And that's why the CYA program, it focuses on children and youth, because I know many people will say that, oh, are you not engaging in child labor? I want to echo here that I work for UNICEF, so I know what the impact I know what it means for a child, or what child labor means. Equally, I was one of the champions for the ILO on child labor, many back in 2012, where I even went to Brasilia, to present some of my work. So I know what I'm talking about. So we cannot, because if we want to, enhance the process or maybe have some negative feedback about children not getting to work, then they should not go to school. They should stay at home and they teach them at home. So but when they move from the house to school, you don't know what happens. So they need to be catered for. And that's why CSAYN sets up what we call hubs and centers within the school, within academia. And they are very, very excited. So that's how it works. So we are very, very proud of it. Very, very proud of it. We equally have the African SDG training. The African SDG is simply domesticating and localizing the SDGs into local languages in the various communities. Yes, we translated the SDGs into 60 official languages, local languages, and today it's going viral. It's going viral. That's why the UN today talks about Swahili or whatever. They were just 6 languages before. Yeah, but with the SDGs, it went so viral. There are testimonies. You can go online and check that out. It's a reality. Yeah, thank you very much.
No, thank you. Can you expand, or can you tell us how do you measure the success and impact of the initiatives you're leading on the communities and the ecosystems in general?
It's very simple, very, very simple. That's the easiest question you've asked me this afternoon. You just look at the success stories. Yeah, each initiative has a success story. And I invite you tomorrow. Tomorrow we're having a very high-level panel where we shall be having Ambassador Hans. We may have the DSG because I've sent the invitation and they're actually discussing on this. I hope that if I check my phone, I hope that she has replied because they asked that she has to be there. I told her she has to be there. That she actually trained me, she monitored me, and I want her to be a part of the success. I want her to take the credit because she was the one that took me from one level to the other. So the event is tomorrow. The event is tomorrow, and we are hoping to have everyone on board. We are going to send you guys invitation, everyone, to be part of this. It's a very big meeting where we shall be giving success stories of CYA. You shall be hearing from engineers people, shall be hearing of our leaders on PWD, shall be hearing about women, WASA, and all on that. You're going to find it tomorrow. That's going to be tomorrow, 3 p.m. CET. That's an invitation. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to invite the whole world to be part of our event tomorrow. And it's going to be 3 p.m. CET. Yeah, we'll share the link and everything. If you want to contact us, just go to CSAYN, the CSAYNglobal.org. You contact or you're going to send us an email, whatever. You find everything right there. So yeah, that's where we are. The success stories, I can give you some. You know, like Placido, he started, he went to the bank. He didn't work out. He says he's resigning. Now he's a big man. He's a big guy. He's a big guy in Tanzania via CSAYN because he developed. It opened his mindset. We didn't develop his project. I won't take the credit. But I said it actually opened his mindset. He realized that agriculture has a lot of potential. He has a lot of potential. And that's why I quote Adesina here, the president of African Oil Bank. He says that the next billionaire is going to be a farmer. This is very true. Very, very true. And let's not be mistaken. Let's not deceive ourselves. You say farmers are not dirty people. Farming is no more the hoe and stuff. There's technology. You can sit in your office and you're farming. You know, that's it. That's what farming is all about. It's a whole value chain. It's a whole value chain. So if you did agriculture, if you did medicine, you can look at nutrition and food security. If you did carpentry, you know, you can look at you can be the person to construct the homes of these poultry farms and animals. You can do that. If you did mechanics, if you did you make mechanical engineer or whatever, you know, you can look at the farm to market roads to service the cars. You know, if you did civil engineering, you can construct farm to market roads. So everybody has a role to play. If you're a teacher, you can look at the EE, environmental education, which is very, very key. That's something that we don't joke with it. It's really at the front line of all what we're doing. Thank you very much.
No, thank you. I also heard about too that the future billionaires on this planet will not be the owners of the Ferrari, will be the farmers.
Yes,
because food is so important.
Absolutely. I can say that a million times. That's the reality. Because let me give you an example. When you go to the hospital, Liliana, a real doctor, because our doctors are not real, a real doctor will tell you after eating well, take 3 tablets. He won't tell you take tablets before eating. So it's to let you know that food comes at the front line. The food system and agri-food system is key. Without food, nothing happens. And that's why I think that all of us should have to be very, very keen about that. Because if we start educating our kids back home to be food system transformers, the world will change. We shall not have obesity. We shall not have diabetes and all of that. So it's because and that's why all this happened. Anything that we face is because of the things we put in our mouth, nothing else. We were not born sick. No. It's because of the nutrition, what we eat, that's it. That's the reality. And that's why that's why I'm proud and I'm so excited about CSAYN because that's taught me a lot of things, that's opened my mind. You know, I was planning to do maybe a master's or whatever in maybe becoming an engineer and stuff, but I realized that it was just trash. I've decided to be into farming. And that's it. I'm so excited about it. Yeah, we are actually the channel. You know, we bridge the gap between the policymakers and the communities, the rural communities. And that's why we encourage everybody. If you were doing your last year PhD in medicine, I'll say resign and go and start getting a farm. That's what I'll comment to everybody right here. Because there's nothing we do without food. It's key. We all work in big offices in the end. Whether we are prosecutors in high court or whatever, we have to go and eat. So the farmers should be at the center. They should be the priority. They should be the priority of everything you're going to do. Let the farmers have a seat at the table in all negotiations. Let's stop believing in suits in white collar jobs. They are the ones feeding us. We have to respect them. We have to honor them at all times. That's why CSAYN is going to come out some programs where we're going to be honoring farmers every year. You know, especially this year is our 10th anniversary. It's our 10th anniversary. So next year, September, we invite everybody in Dakar to come and see what's going to happen. Mystery going to happen there. You're going to see what we have been preparing on the ground for the past 10 years. We shall explore right there. So Dakar is going to be small. That's why we shall extend to the Gambia and celebrate our anniversary. Thank you very much.
Since you mentioned about future goals, what are your immediate and long-term goals for the think tank in the context of global climate resilience and sustainable development?
Yeah, number one, the immediate goal, first of all, is to achieve the SDGs by 2030. If member states don't want to achieve the SDGs, CSAYN becomes a member state and a world on its own, will create its own world and achieve the SDGs by 2030. As I said, we took 2 years and a half maximum to design the SDGs, but now we have 5 years left. So it means we can achieve the SDGs. We can achieve the 34 SDGs from now to 2030. That's what I want to say. So we have double the time we design SDGs, we can achieve it. If all of us are accountable to our deeds, if all of us are transparent of what we say, if all of us stand firm to what we decided, in 2015, 25th of September 2015 here in New York, I think that's going to be passionate. It's going to be something we're going to do. And that's why we decided to move from talks to action. We're going to be setting up massive pavilions in schools. All the centers we are in, each school going to be having its pavilion. Just think about it. It's going to be a one-stop shop in schools where people just come on break lunchtime that day. They just see the logos, the icons and everything. They see people exchanging ideas. That's why we have decided to even set up what we call CSAYN Academy. CSAYN Academy is going to be involved. We're going to be setting up very soon, which actually comprises of sports, all sports in the world, all sports included, all sports. We shall use sports for the SDGs. That's what we are planning. That's another initiative. If you want to take it, that's fine. So we are setting that up because we realize that sports unites a lot of people, and brings a lot of peace. So we shall have in that academy, one of the results, main deliverables is to come up with what we call sports for the SDGs. That's it.
WAFUNIF had a project in the past called Sports for Peace.
Oh, really? Yeah.
The previous administration was involved in and they were very successful outreaching to different universities and schools and involving other NGOs doing similar projects. In terms of, let's say, more or less like the end of our discussion, what message would you like to convey to those global leaders and the youth and the stakeholders regarding the climate smart agriculture and its importance?
For me, I don't want to limit myself in CSA. I would say we have all committed ourselves to the global goals. We have all committed ourselves to the global goals. Let each individual, let everybody remind himself of this 2030 agenda. It is key. What education are we giving to our kids? How are we translating this message to them? That's why we decided to come with a translation of the SDGs. For me, I think the first key message is that let's all stand one as a community. Let's join the efforts CSAY is putting in place to achieve the SDGs. I call upon the president of ECOSOC. Let them get. We're going to work with all the organizations that have the status, the consultative status. We're going to work with all of them so that we come out as a uniform core, implementer of the SDGs transformation from now to 2030. That's why this is my invitation. That's number one. Number two, fortunately, I'm lucky. The president of General Assembly is a Cameroonian. It's our former prime minister in Cameroon. So it's easy for me to meet him. I'm going to meet him. I'm going to share my voice to him as well to tell him this is what we have been able to do. Without the support of the PGA, right now we need support to hit the next 5 years. And that's why we are developing our 5-year strategic plan where all the SDGs are interrelated in all we're going to do. Mainstream. We have mainstream and we have programmed all the SDGs across all our flagship programs. And that's why we are very, very passionate and excited that we are just praying that 2025 to come, that it will be tomorrow so that we can start implementation because we have a lot of energy and capacity in this. The next word for the young people, this was for policymakers and the world leaders. Now for young people, I would say believe in yourself. Believe in yourself simply means that you first of all have to call yourself a president before somebody calls you a president. You first of all have to call yourself a successful person before you even venture to be successful. You should be self-motivating. You should motivate yourself personally. If you say you're a failure, you're going to be a failure. If you say you're a successful person, you're going to succeed no matter what. you're going to have that umbrella, you're going to succeed. I'm saying this because I've been there before. Many people think that I was born in a golden spoon and stuff like that, but I'll say no, it's because I believed in what I was aiming at. And I told some people many years ago, CSAYN is going to be everywhere in the world, everywhere. You move in any country, you see just green and white logo everywhere. Now, as a good news, we just recently signed a very ambitious MOU. I'll call it ambitious and prestigious MOU with the global climate innovation coalition. It's a Chinese non-profit, but they have branches all over the world. So I'm happy to inform us that we have an office at the center, at the heart of Beijing, within the residential area. We have all the embassies. So that's strategic for us. It's strategic for us. So just to say that because of the work we're doing, it's being recognized by certain member states. We are so keen. CSAYN is registered in many countries, and we are working with several universities. My best friends are vice chancellors. My best friends. So I now talk to vice chancellors as if I'm talking to my younger brother or my elder brother, whatever. We are so close because of the work we are doing. So there's what they call visibility. There's what they call believing in oneself. There's what they call respecting each and every one around you. We never know tomorrow. And that's why today there's no contact I don't have. There's no contact because I believed in what I was doing. The journey was not swift. It was not smooth. There were rocks, but I fell down and I stood up. I fell and I stood up and I believed. And today I know I'm not going to fall anymore. It's over because I already have the tentacles on ground. When I go to Kenya, for example, I know where to go and sit. I have offices everywhere. You go to Kenya, you go to Tanzania, everywhere we have offices. It's to say that that's how you can measure success. We have been able to pave the way for our future generations. We have been able to give back to the communities which come from. And I say, as my last word, I think my last word will be 10 last words today. My last word is, I love what I'm doing. Let's join efforts. We invite you all to join CSAYN. No matter what, we don't need your qualification. We don't need it. We don't need your qualification. It's a matter of passion. It's a matter of enthusiasm. It's a matter of commitment. And it's a matter of loving God. That's it. Over.
No, thank you. Definitely, I think your energy is very inspirational to all of us, and we wish you good luck in your endeavors. I think I'm happy that WAFUNIF got in touch with you, and we are trying to. I learned a lot from you, and I'm getting also a lot of inspiration and the good vibe that you're transferring to us. We'll make sure that at the end of our video, we'll have your website listed and also your social media accounts, so our viewers can get in touch with you and also donate to your organization so you can continue to do the wonderful work you're doing. So I want to thank to all our viewers to joining us today on our WAFUNIF Lunch and Learn series, where we explore the key topics related to the UN Sustainable Development Goals. We hope that you found the discussion insightful and inspiring. And remember that every small action contributes to a larger impact. Stay connected with us for more sessions as we continue to delve into each of the 17 SDGs and discover practical ways to make a difference. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this series with others committed to global change, and to stay updated on our latest efforts and events. To learn more about our mission and initiatives or to make a donation, visit wafunif.org. And also Devine's website and social media, which we're going to have in the end listed on our video. Thank you so much again. Wish you again all the best and success tomorrow. We'll try to be there to be part of your event. And we'll continue our conversation another time. And congratulations. I know you're celebrating this year 10 years of existence. So
yes.
That's also another big achievement.
Yes.
Being alive and going through the ups and downs like all of us.
And you're invited. You're invited, by the way. It's going to be in Dakar, so you are fully invited. Make sure you fly to Dakar. We're waiting for you right there.
Thank you so much, and we'll stay in touch, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for having me, and God bless you. I wish you the best as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you.